Children of our time and place, we unthinkingly accept at the first the standards of life we find about us. It is easier to follow the quality of inertia than to think for ourselves. Partaking of the quality of harmony, we seek that which is pleasant in relationships with fellow men, and companionably enjoy the pleasures of life with those whose interests do not happen to conflict with our own. Avoiding the others, life seems a contest, strenuous but not unpleasant. Led by a yearning seated deep in our souls for truth, a truth inherent within us since the dawn of humanity, we reach the point where there can be no dividing line between belief and action. Truth must come first, and must come first all the time and in every place. We arrive at this in various ways. Some by thought-out conviction, some by producing intolerable conditions internally, trying to travel in two directions at once. In any case, when we have set our feet once and for all on the road which leads away from self to all self, we find ourselves at once, and with horrifying suddenness, no longer in a race, but in a battle. And thinking to see under the seeming only a sham battle, a new phase of the sportive contest, we smile at our erstwhile friends in hope of return, of reassurance, of appreciation, of our new views, perhaps even of actual cooperation. And then the mask falls forever. These people did appreciate and sympathize with our views, did believe in altruism, sacrifice, the brotherhood of man, just so long as we made no dangerous attempt to put these things into practice. But now, teeth are bared and swords are out. Our friends and relatives have undergone a werewolf metamorphosis overnight. They, first of all, will join in the universal attempt to crush us utterly if we persist in this insanity. We are surrounded on every side by friends turned enemies. Prosperous, our interests are with the disinherited. The disinherited, who will be with us only so long and in so far as our course conduces to their own interests of self. Confronted with the necessity of action in the world, strong, efficient, and sustained action, by the rules of the new game we are playing, we find ourselves ringed by innumerable men of keener brains, better bodies, trained and experienced from birth in the use of weapons now denied to us. Far in the distance, perhaps, we see a comrade or two, but each of them already battling odds seemingly above his strength, each so far away that to reach him and join forces, we must pass through a thicket of slithering steel. In that hour, we know the meaning of their agony, their occasional despair of the race, which we had, perhaps, thought only the ebullition of overwrought and overworked personalities. In that hour, we know the full meaning of Kali Yuga, the Black Age, the age of remorseless, ferocious, utter selfishness, so cold, so complete, so immovable, as to seem like the impersonal destructiveness of the avalanche or tornado, yet staring at us from the eyes of men, with keen intelligence, searching us through and through, estimating our weaknesses, seeking the points to strike with safety and efficiency. We had not seen this before, for we were on the other side, and then, perchance, many a poor wretch despairingly encountered this same time spirit in our own eyes. a spirit which seemed to us then the lawful exercise of the right of self-preservation, duty to kin, duty to nation, or heaven knows what. But now we know what hell means. We are overborne by the effluxes of powerful personalities, the waves of hard, violent self-righteousness, the contemptuous, savage command in the eyes of the oppressors. So long as we move not, we are safe. All these have more important work on hand, more important foes to conquer. One step and the steel will hiss. We feel ourselves alone, all alone and weak. In furious resentment at the complete perversion of views, the narrowness, the intolerance, the cowardice and selfishness universal, we could joyously rush forward and die fighting, if only we could, in dying, kill and destroy as we shall be destroyed. But even that is barred to us. We are fighting for these people and not to destroy them. We must disarm without killing, must meet razor-edged blades with bare hands. Then our wish is to run, to rush madly into the depths of the wilderness, to live on roots if need be, but never again to mix with the world of men, to seek solace in the quiet bosom of nature, to forget our aching disillusionments, our sick hearts, listening to the songs of birds and the ripple of joyous waters, to wash our hands of the world and let those who live by the sword die by their own swords, unhindered by us. But we cannot play the coward, and seeing that we must face the issue, we rise in the calmness of despair and find within ourselves the knowledge that we are no isolated fragment, but that whose sweep encloses all things, all friends, all enemies, that which is indestructible, immemorial, unchangeable. Nothing worse can befall than the destruction of the personal self, yet, be that destroyed 1,000 times over, we are untouched. Imbued with the calmness of that knowledge, we find our sight clear. We find ourselves possessed of vision denied those who suffer from the cataracts of self. We know their weaknesses through and through, while we are to them an unknown quantity, dangerous with the mystery of madness. Their strength is our strength, for it is drawn like ours from impersonal power, that power before whose awful and implacable purposes of selflessness these personalities will be sometimes rent like clouds before the cyclone. They fight for preservation of self. We care not for self. They have the world behind, we the universe.